Welcome to the Gospel Sleep, a peaceful corner made just for you. If your heart feels weary, if your thoughts won't quiet down, if you've been lying awake trying to find peace, you've come to the right place. Tonight, let go of everything that burdens you. You don't need to be strong right now. You don't need to figure it all out. You only need to rest in God's presence. As you listen, imagine sitting beside a gentle fire under the night sky. The air is cool, the stars are bright, and the Word of God flows softly around you like the sound of a river. Each verse whispers truth into your heart. Be still, and know that I am God. Let those words wash over your thoughts and calm the storm within. Here, in this moment, God meets you right where you are in your exhaustion, in your fears, in your sleepless nights. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's simply inviting you to rest. Every video on this channel is created to help you find that sacred stillness to breathe, to reflect, and to fall asleep in peace. So whenever life feels overwhelming, open godly sleep and let the spirit of calm surround you. If you haven't already, please subscribe and be part of our loving community of believers who rest together in His Word each night. Share these moments with others who might need peace too. Together, we can create a haven of calm where everyone is reminded you are loved, you are safe, and God is near. Now, take one more deep breath, exhale, and rest. You're exactly where you're meant to be, in the gentle arms of peace. I welcome you into this quiet hour. I invite you to come with an open heart. I ask nothing of you but presence. I sit here with a lamp dimmed to a soft gold. The room breathes in a hush. The air feels like folded cloth. The sound of the world is distant. I want this moment to be simple and kind. I notice the weight you carry. I hold it in my mind with gentleness. I do not judge. I do not try to solve everything at once. I place my hand over the place burdens sit. I recognize how tired the bones of worry can make a body. I have known that tiredness myself. I come like a friend who crosses a small yard at dusk and sits beside you on the porch. Silence is our companion. A light breath connects us. I ask you to lay things down with me. Imagine a bag at your feet. It is full of small stones. Each stone is a worry, a duty, a memory, a fear. The strap has dug into the shoulder for too long. Set the bag down now. Feel how the shoulder eases. Give the stones one at a time to the ground. Let the air find its way back into the chest. This is not a dismissal of the real needs or a denial of grief. This is a gentle act of placing weight down for a while so that the hands can be still. I read the Bible for you tonight. I set the book on my knees. The spine bends like a familiar back. The pages whisper when I turn them. I choose a place with care. My voice moves slow. I shape each sentence like a lantern. The light is steady. I do not rush. I do not speak to convince. I speak to soothe. The words are for listening, not for arguing. They come like soft steps on an old stair. I invite your attention without demand. Rest your attention where it feels easiest. It may rest at the place the lamp touches the blanket, It may rest at the sound of my breathing. It may drift to a picture in your mind. Wherever it chooses, let it be enough. If the mind wanders, that is fine. Drift is part of rest. Return gently, like a boat coming back to a small harbor. I remind you of mercy. Mercy arrives without fanfare. It is often quieter than the anxieties that press the chest. It comes like rain that cools the pavement after a long day. Mercy is not a tally of failures. It is a hand held out when the steps go wrong. I tell this because the night often amplifies regrets. The dark can make mistakes feel larger. In this hour, I bring a different measure. I measure by breath. Breathe in slowly. Breathe out slowly. Count nothing but the gentle inhale and the easy exhale. I hold hope lightly in my words. Hope is not an urgent shout. It is a low flame in a safe place. It requires no convincing. It warms without pressure. Hope asks only for space. It flourishes in the small tasks of faithfulness. In little acts of rest, hope can be carried like a seed. It looks ordinary until it opens. I ask you to think of hands that are steady. These hands do not remove every difficulty, but they steady the hands of those who carry burdens. Imagine them as warm, solid, familiar. Let that image press like a soft palm across a fevered forehead. Feel the steadiness. Let tension uncoil from the shoulders. The neck moves a fraction. The jaw loosens. Muscles that have been clenched for days begin to sigh. I yethe you to a quiet posture. Sit or lie as you will. Make the body give up nothing it needs. Close the eyes, if that is gentle. Keep them open if that helps you breathe. Attend to a rhythm that does not hurry. My voice is a steady thread through the room. It does not demand attention. It invites it. Let the thread wrap you in the slow pattern of words. I avoid loud theology. I avoid complex debate. My purpose is to bring rest and reassurance. The Bible passages I choose tonight speak of shelter, of rest, of being held in love. They speak in images that a tired mind can hold without strain. They are safe harbors for fragile hearts. When I read to bring those images close. I do not pass doctrine into heavy machinery. I let the phrases float like feathers. I speak of forgiveness as a releasing. Forgiveness is not forgetting the harm. It is a careful loosening of the knot, so the rope does not tighten the wound. When forgiveness comes, the body can relax around the memory. It does not mean consent to hurt. It means a choice to stop carrying the stone that crushes the ribs. In the night, this release is tender. It arrives in small increments. Allow 1 inch of freedom, then another. I mention shelter because everyone needs a place to be shielded for a while. Picture a small room with a window open to a starlit sky. The night is large and unending in its edges, but the room is safe. You are not asked to carry the whole sky. You are invited into the room. Rest there. The sound outside continues. That is fine. The room keeps its warmth. I encourage a gentle confession, not as a list to be judged, but as a lowering of the lid so that burdens sit lighter. Name one thing aloud or in the heart. Give it a single sentence. Then let it go into the dark and leave it there for now. Confession here is like setting a bowl on the table and letting steam swirl off of it. It does not require explanation. It requires honesty, which is rare and therefore healing. I walk with the rhythm of Scripture. I read passages that cradle the anxious heart. I read psalms that sound like a neighbor calling at the door. I read promises that are practical in their tenderness. Each line finds its place like a plank in a small bridge. We cross together. Slowly. I encourage small acts of trust as we move. Trust is not a grand leap. It is a hand placed on the railing. It is a sock pulled over the foot. It is a choice to turn the mind toward a quieter story. Take one small, trusted thing and set it at the center. That may be a memory of kindness. That may be a phrase that comforts. Keep it close. Let it anchor the wandering mind. I speak of rest as a command that is also a gift. Rest is not failure. Rest is a stewardship of the self. It is as vital as breathing. To rest is to honor the life that is given. I call rest a neighbor. Invite it in. Let it pull a chair and sit by the bedside for a while. I remind you of the quiet continuity of love. Love often shows up in mundane ways. A cup left on the table, a voice that answers the phone, a hand that holds steady while others waver. Love persists in small details. In the night, these details can be like a warm blanket. Gather them, let them cover your ankles, let them cover your thoughts. I keep my sentences plain so the ear can follow. No heavy words crowd the space. No sharp arguments break the calm. Each line moves like slow water. The tone is the same as a lullaby, patient and unhurried. The voice does not climb into drama. It rests on gentle hills. I invite a small ritual now. Place both hands on your lap or at your sides. Feel the pulse where the body meets the bed or chair. Follow that pulse for 3 slow beats. Inhale on the first beat. Pause on the second. Release on the third. Repeat this pattern a few times. Let each breath be the return of an old friend. I offer a brief blessing, not as a litany of words, but as a simple wish. I wish your tiredness ease. I wish your worries a place to rest. I wish mercy to pass through your room like a cool breeze. I wish hope to take hold like a sapling in soil that has been quietly prepared. Receive these wishes as you will. Let them move through the body without force. I prepare to open the book. The plan for tonight stretches through quiet passages and gentle readings. There is time. There is no rush. The reading will be slow and soft, like rain on a tin roof. If the eyes grow heavy, let them close. If the mind slips into sleep, let sleep come. I am here to read for you. My listening ear is turned to the gentle edges of the night. I keep the invitation simple as I close this part. Bring one burden to the edge of the bed and put it down. Fold it like laundry. Let your hands rest empty for a while. Breathe in the cool air and out the warmed dusk. Remember that rest is not a one-time act. It is a practice that begins tonight. Begin with this small step. Now I set the Bible open. The page settles like a quiet bird. My voice softens further. I place a thumb at the place we will begin. The light on the page is steady. The room becomes a small ship in calm water. If you are ready, close your eyes and listen. If you are not ready, stay where you are and breathe. Either is welcome. I will read aloud in a moment. The words will come as a gentle guide. They will not overwhelm. They will not demand answers. They will sit beside the burdens you have placed down and keep watch while you rest. When the reading begins, let it be a lullaby for the mind. Let it carry you slowly toward a peaceful sleep. I settle deeper into the chair. The lamp dims another fraction. This hour is for easing into quiet together. If this small space eases you, consider staying with us more often. A gentle click on subscribe keeps the light steady. A short note in the comments can say that you were here, sharing this hour with someone who needs rest, spreads a quiet like a soft blanket. These are small, practical ways to build a circle of care. They are not demands. They are invitations. I turn my attention now to the burdens that arrive with the night. They do not all wear the same shape. Some feel like an old coat that never quite fits. Some feel like a pair of shoes that pinch at the heel. Some sound like the replay of a hard word. Some feel like an empty room. These burdens find corners in the body. They press on the ribs. They make the stomach a knot. They keep the mind on low alarm. I name them only so the ear can listen. The scripture I bring now speaks quietly to this state. In Matthew, a voice invites the worn and heavy to come and find rest. It is an invitation without pressure. It is a hand held out to the one who cannot carry one more step. The words do not demand explanation. They do not make failing into a crime. They offer a place to set down the things that crush the chest. I will read in a moment. For now, hold that invitation like a light on a table. Burdens are not always dramatic. More often, they are the steady drip of small cares. The list grows by habit. A phone call left unanswered. A bill that sits at the corner of the desk. A relationship that feels frayed. A memory that wakes in the dark. Each one layers on top of the other until movement feels heavy. Spirit and flesh are tired in different ways. The soul can ache when the body seems fine. The body can tremble under pressure the mind cannot name. I ask you to notice how a burden feels right now. Place one hand on whatever part of the body feels tight. Let the fingers rest there without force. If no part feels tight, rest the hand on the chest. Breathe into that place. Breathe slowly. Name the feeling in a single word. Say it softly in the mind. Grief, worry, shame, exhaustion. Naming is not solving. Naming is attendance. It gives the burden a small address to which the rest can go. There is a way to place these things down without pretending they vanish. Think of a small bench in a quiet garden. Set your named burden on the bench. Do not throw it. Do not make it disappear by force. Lay it down gently. You may take one more breath and let the shoulders shift an inch. The body registers the act. The heart does not leap to joy. It notices a tiny space freed. That space is enough for one more breath. This is not a call to deny real pain. This is a way to stop carrying everything alone. The invitation found in Matthew is to come, not to perform. It is to learn what it means to be held. To learn also is to slow down. Learning unfolds in small, repeated motions. It is folding a blanket and placing it where it can warm another day. It is the quiet repetition of trust that does not pretend to be sure. I read for you now from that place of invitation. The tone is soft. The pace is slow. I do not race through the syllable. I let them rest on the air. The passage offers rest to the weary. It pairs the offer with an image of a burden made lighter by another's steady presence. It says the teaching that flows from this presence is gentle. I let the words settle between us. They do not demand belief. They offer sanctuary. When burdens are heavy, the idea of sharing them can feel risky. Fear says that sharing will result in judgment. Faith says that sharing brings help. The small act of telling one person or writing a short note can loosen the grip of fear. If you like, use the comments as a quiet room. Leave a brief word about what brought you here. Others will read. Sometimes that reading is itself a comfort. It reminds us that many shoulders bend under similar loads. Community here is not a headline. It is a slow, steady practice. It is the exchange of small kindnesses, a word of encouragement, a short prayer, a simple confession that says, I am tired. When people respond with gentleness, a network forms. It is fragile and beautiful. It is like a chain of small lights along a shoreline. They do not flood the ocean, but they make a path visible to those who walk at night. Now a gentle exercise to help. Choose one burden. Keep it small. Say the single word again. Imagine a pair of hands. Calm and known. Do not imagine judgment. Imagine steadiness. Pass the named burden into those hands. Watch the hands take it. Feel the slight relief. Let the breathing follow that movement. Breathe in, breathe out. Repeat twice more. This is a rehearsal of trust. It is a tiny muscle that strengthens when used. I will keep theology light. I avoid arguments and long explanations. The focus stays on rest and mercy. The Bible images I choose are ones that cushion and comfort. They are not meant to settle every question. They are meant to be a soft place to land. Tonight, the idea that rest is offered holds the center. That single thought can open spaces in the body that were closed for a long time. Sleep does not always come when invited. Sometimes it resists like a tide. When sleep holds back, the invitation to rest still stands. Rest takes many forms. It can be a slow, steady breath. It can be the deliberate release of a tightened hand. It can be the quiet acceptance that this night is not the night to fix all things. These small acts count. They accumulate. They become a pattern of kindness toward the self. If you find the mind racing, bring attention back to the feet. Feel where the feet touch the floor or blanket. Ground there. The body will follow. A simple awareness of contact calms the nervous system. Use that plain truth as an anchor. Revisit it as often as needed. No rush, no reproach. Just return. There is a particular tenderness in offering burdens to another, who will not carry them for you, but who will carry them with you. That is the kind of bearing that heals slowly. It does not erase pain. It holds it differently. It shifts the weight by sharing it. The burden becomes a shared object between two hands instead of a single, crushing load. If this hour helps, consider passing it on to someone who sleeps poorly. Share it with a friend who wakes at the same hour you do. Share it with a neighbor who needs a softer voice. Sharing is not broadcasting pressure. It is an act of service. It is the small kindness that starts a chain reaction of rest. The community grows bit by bit. Comments and messages become small planks in a bridge to others. Before I return to the reading, I invite a short ritual. Keep the named burden in mind. Take a small object from the bedside table. A coin, a hairpin, a pebble. Hold it. Tell the object the single word silently. Place the object on the windowsill or under the pillow. This keeps the burden from floating untethered inside. The object holds the title for a while. Each night, this ritual can be repeated. It is a habit that trains the hands to let go. Now I open the Bible again. My thumb rests on the page. The light on the words feels familiar. I read in a voice that slows the mind. The phrases are simple. They return to the invitation to find rest when steps grow heavy. I let each sentence sit in the room before moving to the next. There is time. The lamp holds its steady amber. I do not ask for proof. I do not ask for declarations. I ask only for presence. Let the words wash through you like warm water. Let them touch the places that feel raw. Let them stay where they are. Welcome. If the eyes closed, that is a blessing. If the mind drifts, that is also grace. The hearing alone is a kind of letting go. When the reading ends, I do not pack away the invitation. I leave it on the bedside like a small candle. You can return to it in the night. You can whisper the single word you named and place the hand on the same small patch of body. Remember that rest is not a one-time fix. It is the practice of coming back. Each time you come back, the burden sits lighter for an inch or two. We close this part with a small blessing, not in long phrases, a quiet wish that mercy finds its way into the narrow places, a wish that the feet feel less heavy tomorrow, a wish that the heart finds a single thread of hope to hold. I fold these wishes softly and place them by the open Bible. I will read again in the next part. For now, breathe slowly and let the invitation rest in the chest. If you wish, leave a short note below about what you carried here tonight. I will listen. I keep my voice low and steady. The lamp breathes a little warmer. I arrange the book on my lap so the spine settles easily. Tonight I lean into two gentle truths. First, God knows the weight you carry. Second, forgiveness is a gift that comes both ways, given and received. I speak first about that knowing. There is no need to tidy every feeling before bringing it near. God knows the small, quiet pains that wake you at night. God knows the hollow places and the loud alarms. That knowledge is not a scoreboard. It is recognition. It is the soft awareness of someone who has watched the weather on your face. Hearing this frees the need to explain everything. It asks only that the heart be honest. Honesty in the dark can feel like a deep inhale. It opens the chest a fraction. I name this because the night can make troubles feel like they are bigger than they are. The mind magnifies. The heart measures the wrong with a ruler made for the day. God's knowing is not a scrutiny. It is an invitation to rest in being seen. Imagine a friend who keeps lights on in the house when you come late. The lights are not a judgment. They are a welcome. Let that image be small and true. Let it rest beside you without needing to change. From that place of being known, forgiveness finds room to grow. I turn now to the idea of forgiveness as a gift. Ephesians gives a simple instruction: be kind, but tender in heart, and forgive each other, just as you were forgiven. I say that slowly. It is not a demand. It is a practice that unknots the places where resentment has tightened the hands. Forgiveness is not erasing memory. It is not pretending hurt did not happen. It is a quiet decision to stop sharpening the pain. It does not require forgetting what is true. Instead, it changes the way the truth sits in the chest. The change is small at first. It feels like loosening a shoe by half an inch. The foot breathes. Movement becomes possible. There are two sides to this gift. Receiving forgiveness from God is the first. I invite you to try a simple exercise. Close your eyes if that feels kind. Place a hand over the sternum or where the heart seems to sit. Think of one burdensome thing you carry that feels like guilt or shame. Say its name softly in the mind. Then, without explanation or argument, imagine a warm light settling there. Hear the Bible's message as a quiet assurance you are offered mercy. Let that mercy touch the named fault like a gentle cloth on a bruise. Do not push for instant healing. Let the cloth rest. Notice the tension loosen a fraction. Breathe into that space. Repeat as many nights as needed. The habit of receiving mercy is a muscle. It grows with gentle repetition. The second side is giving forgiveness to others. This can feel risky. Wounds can be deep. Some hurts need boundaries and care. Forgiveness does not remove the need for safety. It does not force reconciliation where danger remains. Instead, forgiveness is an act that frees the forgiver from carrying the burden alone. Imagine holding a heavy chain. Give it a moment to rest on the ground. You keep the chain until safety is sure. But you stop dragging it across every room. This small lifting is itself a mercy. Practical steps help. Begin with a single phrase in your mind. I release this. Not because the harm was small, but because I need rest. Say it softly 3 times while breathing slowly. Or write a short note that begins with the word release. Do not plan to send it. Fold it and tuck it away. Or burn it safely in the bowl on the nightstand, if that feels symbolic. The act is for you. It trains the hands to let go of collecting grievances. I also suggest a nightly ritual of name and place. Each evening, name one person who caused pain. Give them a simple place, an empty cup on the table, a pebble in the bowl. Place the pebble there and say the single word forgive, or the gentler phrase, I will let this rest, for now. Over team. The bowl gathers many pebbles. The weight of all those troubles no longer presses inside the chest. The bowl exists to hold them while you sleep. This is not the end of deep work. but it is a tender beginning. Forgiveness requires truth. Speak honestly to yourself about what happened. Acknowledge harm. Acknowledge your reaction. Truth and release can sit together. The contact of both heals more than either alone. If forgiveness feels impossible tonight, notice that feeling without pressuring it to change. Let patience be part of the practice. Mercy often moves in small steps. I read for you now, in a voice that keeps the room still. The passage in Ephesians I hold to says this: "In soft language be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God forgave you." It is plain. It holds no sharp edges. It assumes you are not perfect, and that mercy is ongoing. Let those words land like small leaves on the surface of a calm pond. Watch the rings spread slowly. There is a particular tenderness in remembering that forgiveness was first given. Imagine a morning when someone leaves the door open and a warm light spills in. That opening was given without your earning it. Think of God's forgiveness like that light arrived while you slept. Receiving it frees the need to earn every breath. When that gift is felt, then giving becomes less about a transaction and more about sharing the light. If you carry anger toward yourself, apply the same practice. Speak to your own mistakes with gentleness. Picture meeting your own eyes in a mirror and whispering forgiveness like a promise. This practice changes the inner tone. The inner critic quiets. A softer voice grows stronger with each night. I ask you to try a short breath prayer now. Breathe in and think of the word mercy. Hold the inhale. Breathe out and think of the word release. Repeat this pattern 5 times. Let the words be slow anchors. Do not rush. Do not judge the mind that wanders. Each return counts. The breath links mercy, and release in a rhythm the body understands. There are times when forgiveness takes the form of action. A simple apology can be given. A correction can be made. Repair may be needed. Do not mistake forgiveness for ignoring necessary care. Forgiveness does not mean neglecting consequences. Instead, it coexists with healthy steps toward repair. If repair is impossible or unsafe, forgiveness still serves as a way to change the way the past is carried. I keep theology gentle because this hour is for resting. I do not unpack every doctrine. I do not argue about meanings. I return instead to images: a small room warmed by a lamp, a bowl on a table that holds the stones of the day, a hand that reaches across to steady a trembling wrist. These images are practical. They can be used tonight. They are tools for weary minds. If your mind tightens with resistance to forgiveness, notice the reason without adding a second burden. Fear may say that releasing means forgetting or opening oneself to harm. That fear is valid. Address it with care. Set boundaries. Speak to a trusted voice. Seek wise counsel. Forgiveness is not a replacement for wisdom. It is a different kind of courage, a quiet, letting go when it is safe. Now I offer a short guided imagining. Picture a small boat on a calm lake. Into that boat, lay the single name you named earlier. Do not push the name into the water. Place it gently. Watch the boat rock, and then drift toward a distant shore where a friend stands waiting with a lamp. The friend takes the boat and keeps it safe. You do not need to follow. The watching of the boat is enough. The lake does not swallow the name. It is kept. This picture helps the heart practice trust without rashness. I will read a passage slowly now. Listen for the cadence more than the content. Let each sentence be a soft step. The words remind us to be tender toward one another, to forgive as we are forgiven, to clothe ourselves in kindness. Let the phrases sit on the breath like simple music. Allow them to go where they are needed and stay where they are welcome. As the reading settles, consider a small nightly habit to carry forward. Before sleep, name one thing you forgive yourself for, and one thing you forgive another for. Say both softly. Then place both hands over the heart for 3 slow breaths. This tiny ritual rewrites a little part of how the day ends. Over weeks, endings shift. The sleep that follows is less burdened. The dreams that come are kinder. I close this part with an intentional wish. May mercy find the places that are raw. May rest come where anger has kept watch. May forgiveness be offered in small measures and received as a gentle gift. I leave a single light burning on the page. A marker for the heart to return to, if you wish. Place a small object near the Bible that reminds you of this practice. A pebble or a piece of cloth will do. Each night, touch it and remember the lamp and the boat and the bowl. I will read again in the next part. For now, breathe slowly. Call to mind the one name you named, and let the single act of placement be enough for tonight. If the eyes close, let sleep take its course. If wakefulness lingers, return to the breath prayer of mercy and release. Either rests are welcome here. I keep the book open on my lap and the lamp steady. Hold the present smallness like a borrowed cup. Let it warm you for a while. I sit with the lamp low. The page lies open. A steady plane of ink. Tonight the thought I carry is simple. Grace is larger than the questions we tuck under the pillow. Grace comes freely. It is not measured by effort or merit. It arrives like nightfall. Without ceremony. I think of a line I return to often. It says that grace is enough. That power shows itself best where strength is thin. I say it slowly. The words are kind. They ask nothing of the ear, except to hold them for a moment. Their meaning is not heavy. It is like a hand that steadies, rather than a finger that points. Grace is a gift. Picture a warm cloth placed on a cold cheek. No coupon. No trade. No ledger to consult. It is given, not earned. This giving upends the usual accounting of the heart. We try to balance, to repay, to make amends continually. Grace interrupts that list with a simple act reception. Let it rest there without needing to tidy it up. The mystery is this. The gift does not become smaller because we do not understand it. In fact, it often seems larger. The mind tries to make neat boxes. Grace slips past the boxes. It is not a puzzle to solve, but a presence to receive. Imagine a wide field and a single flower blooming in a place you thought barren. You did nothing to plant it. You only find it and breathe. I read the Bible for you in this hour. I read not to quiz the mind. I read to make a slow path for the ear. The pages I choose tonight point to a strange sufficiency. The apostle notices a thorn that does not leave. He asks for relief. The answer he hears is not removal. It is presence. Enough grace. Strength in the cracks. That answer shapes how I understand weakness. Now, weakness is not merely a fault. It can be a place where a different kind of power rests. We live in a culture that prizes fixing. It urges solutions. Rest can feel like failure in that light. Grace says something softer. It meets the unfixable with staying. It does not rush to erase every bruise. It brings itself into the room and sits beside the wound. That manner of presence changes the body. The chest finds a different pace. Try a small exercise with me. Place a hand on the place you feel small. It may be the sternum, the belly, the throat. Breathe in slowly. Name one small thing that feels thin tonight. Say it inwardly. Now imagine a warm light settling there like a blanket. Do not demand an explanation. Do not replay the ways you failed. Allow the light to stay for 3 breaths. With each exhale, let the shoulders drop a fraction. This is reception. This is practice. Grace is not passive. It often moves through weakness into action. Power is made perfect in places where our own strength runs thin. Think of a lamp held close to a trembling hand. The lamp is not replaced by the shaking. Instead, the shaking reveals the lamp's steadiness. In that way, grace can look like patience. It can look like the patience to sit through a long night with someone who cannot yet speak their fear aloud. We are called to share this grace, not to manufacture it. Sharing means simple acts. A quiet listening at the edge of conversation, an extra cup of tea, a note left on a kitchen table, a hand placed lightly on a shoulder. None of these erase trouble. They place a companion beside it. The call to share is not a command to fix. It is a gentle teaching to be present. Sharing grace often begins with reception. One cannot pour from an empty cup. Take a few evenings to receive before reaching out. Practice the small exercise again. Rest one hand over the place that feels raw. Breathe and imagine light. Give yourself permission to accept help that is offered. Let the simple acceptance be training for future giving. When the heart knows how to receive, it learns how to pass along. There is a humility in recognizing that the gift is beyond calculation. We like to understand costs. Grace resists that accounting. It often arrives in disproportion. A small kindness can feel like a feast. A soft word can open a stubborn door. Notice the unearned moments this week. List one in the mind. Let it remind you that not all value is visible in a ledger. Some worth comes quietly. Like a breath, I keep my sentences short because the ear needs room. Heavy paragraphs close the chest. Gentle lines remind the body to slow. The Bible I read tonight does not come to tie up every question. It comes to give a posture. That posture is one of astonished receiving. It is a hand held out to welcome, a lamp set by the path, a cloth offered to dampen fever. Teachings about grace ask for low courage. It takes courage to accept when pride pushes to perform. It takes courage to offer when fear says to hold close. Both acts are small. Both are sacred. Begin with a tiny habit. At bedtime, name one thing you received today that you did not earn. Say thank you silently. Imagine placing that small gift by the bedside as a lamp beside the open book. Keep it there overnight. The sharing can be just as small. Write someone a sentence of thanks or of recognition. Do not aim to explain or persuade. Just notice. Send it like a small stone across a calm lake. That stone will be felt where it lands. The ripple may be quiet. Its effect may be long. There is a deeper ease in knowing that grace tolerates our questions. Doubt does not disqualify. Confusion does not cancel the gift. The night holds many uncertainties. The lamp keeps burning, though the mind asks why. Let the contradiction stand. Not all that matters is immediately understood. Presence can be more persuasive than explanation. I suggest a brief ritual for those who like signs. Find a small cloth or ribbon. Fold it twice. Hold it, and name one place in life where strength feels absent. Tie the ribbon once and place it on the windowsill. Each night, touch it as a sign that grace is being received. Over time, the ribbon becomes a collection of small trusts. It is a quiet witness to the slow work of mercy. There are times when receiving grace leads to repair. Sometimes the gift stirs courage to make amends or to build new patterns. That movement is a quiet response, not a forced obligation. Let repair grow like a garden. Plant one small correction. Tend it. Do not expect overnight bloom. Grace prefers patient hands. Remember that sharing does not mean pressing your light on another. Offer as a cup set on a table. Allow the choice to be taken or left. Respect for another's pace is itself a kind of grace. It honors the mystery. It recognizes that each person meets gift in their own time. I read now from the place that speaks of sufficiency. The words come gently. They remind the ear that weakness is not the end. They remind the soul that help can be available where repair seems too hard. Hear the cadence more than the content. Let it become an evening cloak. There is comfort in ritual repetition. The same small acts, night after night, form a seam in life. The seam is not flashy. It holds together. If you find yourself restless, return to one simple practice place, a hand over the heart. Breathe in. Imagine light. Breathe out. Imagine the light passing into the hands of another. Practice passing grace like a small object from hand to hand. Do not worry if the imagination stumbles. The gesture trains the muscles of mercy. If resistance arises, notice it without adding shame. Some nights the mind is tight. Some nights the chest is a locked room. Grace does not demand immediate entry. It waits at the door with a soft knock. You may open it some fraction. That opening is enough. I keep theology light because the hour is for rest. Doctrine can wait for the day. Tonight is for plain things, lamp. Book. Breath. Quiet acts. When the reading closes, leave the book open on the lap. Keep the lamp at half glow. Let the hands fall. The room holds this practice like a small garden. Before the page slips shut, I offer a final, intentional image. Imagine a small boat on a gentle river. Into the boat, place one thing you cannot fix. It may be a broken plan, a fraying relationship, or a long-standing worry. Lay it down. Do not push it into the current. Simply set it. Watch as a friend on the bank lifts a lantern and watches the boat carry that burden toward a safe harbor. The harbor is not for disappearance. It is for keeping. The presence of watchful care changes how the thing sits inside you. I close the book slowly. My thumb marks the page. The lamp gives a last soft breath. If sleep comes, lid it. If wakefulness lingers, repeat the small breath practice until the breath grows steady. In the morning, notice one small way to pass along a gentle mercy. It might be a word, a small errand, a quiet listening. That passing does not aim to fix the world. It aims to keep company. Tonight the message rests. Simple and true, grace comes freely and is often beyond sense. It meets the places our strength cannot go. It asks us to receive and to give in small, tender acts. I will read again in the next part. For now, let the lamp keep its soft watch. Breathe, receive, and, in the morning light, consider how to share this quiet gift. I sit with the Bible open and a soft light on the page. The room breathes quiet. The lamp makes a small pool of gold. My voice is low. The reading is slow. I read because I am the one who brings these words into the room before sleep. The rhythm of the sentences is gentle. It is meant for ears that have carried too much all day. Tonight I hold two small truths close. First, weakness is not a failure, but a place where grace finds room to move. Second, a quiet heart can be found even when the world is loud. Both truths are small lanterns. They fit into the palm. They do not need to be carried like a torch. Weakness arrives in many shapes. It slips in as tiredness behind the eyes. It comes as small hesitations at the edge of decision. It nests in the places that feel thin and raw. None of this hides from the one who knows. That knowing does not shame. It comforts. Think of a winter coat with worn elbows. A hand stitches a patch without fuss. The repair is simple. It keeps warmth where it matters. This is how grace moves through weakness. It mends without spectacle. I speak this slowly so the ear can follow. You do not have to enumerate every fault. You do not have to tidy every small sorrow before it receives care. Place one small tender thing on the lap of the night. A regret, a fear, a quiet need. Imagine a soft shawl laid over that thing. The shawl is not a solution in a single sweep. It is a covering that lets the body rest while deeper work happens in its own time. There is a passage I will read to you that speaks of such peace. It promises a calm that does not follow the mind's calculation. The peace it describes goes beyond what reasoning can hold. It settles the heart like a lid closing over a warm pot. I do not quote words to win an argument. I read them to set a tone. Listen for the shape of that promise. Let it press gently against the chest. When the body feels weak, the mind often grows harsh. The inner voice lists errors, measures effort, adds another note to the tally. This repeated accounting becomes where grace meets that tally and slips a page between the hand and the list. The counting does not vanish. The hand simply receives another sheet to rest upon. This is a small mercy. But it changes posture. The jaw unclenches. The back eases an inch. Try this simple practice with me. Rest one hand on whichever place feels most thin. Keep the hand there without searching for answers. Breathe slowly 3 times. On the first inhale, imagine a warm cloth settling where the hand rests. On the exhale, feel the weight ease marginally. Repeat twice more. Do not seek immediate miracle. Notice only the tiny shift. A fraction of ease is enough to begin. Weakness can also be a doorway. In it, other strength may be revealed. Think of a lamp that shows itself more clearly when the room is darker. The light does not make the darkness disappear instantly. It shows the way, step by careful step, when the things of the day prove too heavy. The presence of grace can become that steady lamp. It does not erase difficulty. It keeps watch with patient hands. I read to you from the place that suggests strength shows best where fragility exists. The words come slowly from the page. I let each phrase rest between us, like a small stone placed in shallow water. The ripples are soft. They do not jostle. They move outward in quiet patterns. Hear them without the need to answer. There is a particular kindness in treating mistakes and failing the way one treats a bruise. One does not press the sore spot. One covers it, tends it, and checks later. Forgiveness and grace work similarly. They surround the wound rather than prodding it. This allows the body to relax around memory. Time and gentleness do their work in the hidden places. A quiet heart grows when the breath is given room to slow. The peace that surpasses understanding does not demand cleverness. It asks only for a posture. Place both feet on the floor. Let the shoulders fall. Let the tongue rest behind the teeth. Breathe in. Breathe out. With each cycle, imagine the chest learning a new tempo. The mind will not obey immediately. It will wander and return. Each return trains the heart a little more toward calm. I invite a brief breath practice, tied to the promise I read. Inhale slowly and think of the word receive. Hold briefly. Exhale and think of the word guard. Repeat 5 times. These are not magic words. They are anchors. The breath links the heart's need to the image of care. Or team. That pattern becomes a quiet current under the day's surface. Peace, as described, is not a removal of conflict. It is a guarding. Picture a small garden fenced from wind. Storms still pass beyond the fence. The soil within rests. The plants keep growing. The guarding peace behaves the same way. It does not mean trouble is absent. It means the heart sleeps better while trouble shivers beyond the fence. Weakness and peace connect. When the body admits fragility, the heart becomes less busy proving something. The need to perform recedes. This creates a space where quiet can live. The less the inner voice demands immediate victory, the more room there is for tenderness. The quiet heart grows like moss in shade. It does not hurry. Its persistence is soft. There is a habit that fosters this quiet. Each night, name one small thing that felt heavy and one small thing that felt kind. Keep the list small, one of each. Speak them aloud in the mind. Let the heavy one be acknowledged. Let the kind one be received with gratitude. The pairing teaches the mind to hold complaint and thanks simultaneously. Both truths can sit in the chest without knocking each other out. I read now with the pace of someone tucking a child into bed. The sentences do not race. I let the cadence be slow enough to follow with the breath. The passage I hold speaks of a peace that guards hearts and minds. It connects to the night we share. Imagine that guarding like a soft fence of light across the chest. It does not push the dark away so much as it holds a smaller, safer space where sleep can come. If the mind stirs with questions while I read, let the questions remain. Unanswered things can live alongside the guarding peace. The presence of peace does not insist on answers. It offers a different kind of rest. Imagine laying a puzzle piece aside for another day. The rest is not giving up. It is choosing a time when hands are steady enough to continue. There will be nights when weakness feels heavy and peace seems distant. Those nights require gentleness with oneself. Do not add harshness for not finding peace swiftly. Acknowledge the attempt. Acknowledge the small fraction of ease. Small progress counts. The lamp does not judge which nights are bright and which are dim. It keeps burning. I keep the theology plain because sleep does not favor complexity. The evening is for simple truths, wrapped in soft language. Grace is broader than any accounting. Peace is wider than understanding. Both are gifts to accept slowly. Like cooling tea, the task tonight is reception, not mastery. Before I close the page for a moment, try a short imagining. Picture a small room inside the chest. It has a window that faces a quiet field. Into that room, place one small worry. Do not attempt to solve it. Open the window and feel a breeze pass through. The breeze carries a sense of steadiness. It does not remove the worry. It simply changes its placement. The movement of air reminds the body that stillness is possible. I will read a short passage. Now, in a voice that keeps the pace of the breath, listen for the cadence more than the content. Let the words be a pillow for the mind. Let them sit where they are welcome. If the eyes grow heavy, close them. If sleep comes, accept it as part of the practice. If wakefulness stays, return to the breathing and the small imagery. As the reading settles, adopt a quiet ritual for the coming nights. At bedtime, place a palm over the heart and name one thing to receive and one thing to guard. Breathe slowly. Repeat once. Let the small ritual become a seam in the end of the day. The seam helps stitch the hours together. Ovatim. The heart learns the shape of peace. I leave the Bible open a finger width. The lamp is steady but low. The room is kept for sleep. I sit here with that steady watch. And I will read again in the next part. For now, breathe gently. Receive what is offered, and allow your heart to be guarded by a peace that does not need your full understanding. Let the night hold what it holds. Let grace tend what is weak. Rest comes in its own time. And tonight it is welcome to begin. I sit very still. The lamp is low. My book rests open. I am the voice that reads here, before sleep. My tone is steady. My words are calm. Tonight, I speak of a particular work. It is the work of laying down anxiety. It is a gentle letting go. It is not a hurried fix. It is a tender act. Anxiety can be loud. It can speak with many small voices. It wakes with the dark and presses against the ribs. It curls in the gut. It makes the throat dry. It can make hands restless. I do not dismiss these things. I name them because they are honest responses. They are not a failure. They are signals. They are calls for care. The Bible gives a plain instruction that I return to now. It says to cast all anxiety on God because He cares. I say that slowly. Cast all anxiety because He cares. These words are an invitation, not a demand. They do not shame. They hand away to the night. I invite you to a small practice. Keep it simple. No long lists. No performance. We do this together in a few soft steps. First, breathe and notice. Sit or lie with comfort. Rest the hands where they feel natural. Close the eyes if that feels kind. Take one slow breath in. Let the in-breath touch the place that feels tight. The breath is a friend. Let it move into the tight place. Breathe out slowly. Do this twice more. The breath begins the work. Second, name one anxiety. Choose a single thing. It may be a task, a fear, a memory, a complaint. Say its short name in the mind. Do not argue with it. Do not make it right or wrong. Name it like a thing you will set on a chair for a while. If more than one comes, pick the one that presses most in the chest. Keep the list to one for now. Third, prepare a small sign of transfer. Do not reach for objects you used before. Try something new. Find a small envelope, or fold a scrap of paper, or use the back of a receipt. Write the single name on it. If writing feels hard, trace the name on the air with a quiet finger. The act of marking makes the worry a thing you can set down. Fourth, create a simple place for the worry. I suggest a small box, a jarra, or a drawer by the bed. Call it the tomorrow box. This box is not a magic trap. It is a decision made plain. When you place the paper inside, you shape a border. You say to the worry, I will hold you in this place until morning. For tonight, I give you a different hand to carry you. Now the most tender step. Imagine a steady hand. See it in the mind's eye. It may be a large, warm hand. It may be a pair of hands. Picture them without drama. Picture them as calm and sure. Hold the envelope lightly. Place the envelope into the palm. Hear nothing. Feel only the small easing where weight shifts from your fingers to that steady hand. The image is simple. It does not have to be precise. Say in your mind the gently simple line, I place this in your care. This is not a sermon. It is a short phrase of trust. Repeat it slowly once or twice. Breathe with it. The breath ties the phrase to the body. If saying a phrase is hard, use the breath itself as the act. Breathe in and think, I hold this. Breathe out and picture the hand receiving it. Let the out-breath carry the image away. Do this 3 times. Each cycle makes the handing over a little more familiar. I must be clear. Casting anxiety on God does not mean ignoring a real need. It does not mean false passivity. This practice is not a substitute for wise action. It is a way to carry tasks differently through the night. In the morning, practical steps can follow. Tonight is a rest. You are not giving away the responsibility for tomorrow. You are giving away the restless weight of it until tomorrow arrives. A few more practical habits help the mind keep its word. Before sleep, set a small note beside the tomorrow box with one next step. It can be a single word: call, pay, check, plan. Write a time if that helps. By naming one next step, the mind knows the burden is not abandoned. It is scheduled. This simple planning frees the imagination from turning the same thought again and again. There is another quiet practice I offer. If the mind returns to a thought in the night, do not fight. Notice the return as noticing. Bring the breath back and place the thought on the imaginary palm again. Say the brief phrase once more. The muscle of trust grows with small repetitions. Do not measure the progress by sudden change. Measure it by the number of times you can hand the worry over and let your shoulders soften. Now a short breath exercise to root the body. I count the breaths for you. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold gently for 2 counts. Exhale for 6 counts. Let the exhale be longer than the inhale. Repeat this pattern 5 times. With each exhale, imagine a tiny loosening behind the sternum. Let each out-breath be the movement of handing the named worry toward the steady hand you pictured. I read the Bible aloud. I read words that say to throw cares onto the one who cares for you. The reading is not to comfort only. It is to give a posture. Hear the sentiment. Give your worries to God. He cares. Let those words be an action. Not a line of doctrine. Imagine them as a small bridge. Walk onto it with the breath. Anxiety may come, even when we practice. When it returns, welcome it kindly. Anxiety is not an enemy to be crushed. It is a call to care. Answer with the gentle rituals. Name it. Write it. Place it. Hand it. Breathe. You might do this 3 times in a single night. Each time, the handing becomes less foreign. If sleep does not come after these steps, use the box differently. Place a single question inside, labeled tomorrow. Allow the question to rest there. Decide on a time in the morning to revisit it for 10 minutes. Small time limits tame the habit of chronic ruminating. Commit to that 10 minutes like a scheduled errand. It keeps the mind from trying to solve everything at midnight. Some people find a single image helps more than a phrase. If that is you, picture God's care as a wide oak. See the leaves as small hands that pick up what falls. Imagine placing your worry on one of those leaves. Watch it ride the breeze and settle in a safe place on the tree. The oak does not hurry. It keeps the care. You are allowed to rest at its roots. Others like water images. I offer a slow alternative to the boat I read before. Imagine a small paper lantern. Into that lantern, you place the named worry. Light it with the breath of trust. Send it upward. Watch it rise until it meets a steady sky. The lantern is not lost. It reaches a place where light gathers. The watching of the lantern soothes the chest. I do not pretend these images end worry forever. They give the body a way to move. The hands can learn to place heavy things down. The mind can learn a new course. The soul can rest, even with trials nearby. There is a tenderness in hearing the words, God cares. They are simple. They are not a solution for every question. They are an offering of solace. Let the phrase settle into the center of the chest. Repeat it as a soft rhythm while breathing. God cares. God cares. Let the repetition be a lamp. If guilt joins anxiety, do not pile a second duty upon yourself. Name the guilt gently. Place it in the box or fold it into its own envelope. Give it the same handing over. Mercy can handle both fear and shame. The act of telling is not approval of failure. It is admission that you are human and need rest. I read a short passage slowly. Now, I do not force meaning. I let the cadence carry the ear. Hear the instruction to cast cares on the one who cares. Listen to the care as a companionable hand. Let the voice be steady and low. Allow the sound to be the background for your small rituals. As the reading continues, imagine a night that keeps watch with you. The lamp by the bedside is steady and patient. The world outside moves in its own pace. Your thread of trust holds through the dark hours. You are not the only one who wakes in the night. Many hands are holding similar envelopes tonight. Some places hold a chorus of hush. You belong to that chorus. Before I close this part, try one final small act. Place your hand lightly over the place where the worry lives. Breathe in. Picture the steady hand receiving the worry. Breathe out and imagine the weight shifting a little. Put the envelope in the tomorrow box or fold the paper and slide it beneath the pillow. Say once, in the mind, I place this in God's care tonight. Rest comes not because all is solved, but because another hand holds the load for a while. I will read again in the next part. For now, lower the shoulders, let the jaw soften, keep the breath slow and even. Return again to the 4-2-6 breathing. If the mind stirs, the act of handing over is small and practical. It trains the heart to rest in the presence of care. I keep the Bible open. The lamp keeps its watch. If sleep comes, lead it. If wakefulness lingers, repeat the practice gently without shame. The night is patient. The one who cares is patient too. Rest a little while in that trust. Tomorrow will ask for its work. Tonight is for sleep, solace, and the slow practice of release. The lamp keeps its low circle of light. The Bible lies open on my knees. I am the voice that reads these pages for you before sleep. Tonight, I carry a single image. It is soft. It is small. It is the idea of balm. Psalm 1473 comes to mind. The line is plain, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. I say it slowly in my head. The sentence sits like a small truth on the tongue. It is not a lecture. It is not a fix. It is an offering of care. Think of balm for a moment, not as a cure-all, but as a gentle salve. It warms. It soothes. It presses cooling oil into raw places. The skin relaxes around it. Pain does not vanish in a snap. It eases. It learns a new shape. The image of balm helps us imagine healing that works by tenderness rather than force. I invite you to find the place inside where something hurts tonight. It might be the chest beneath the ribs. It might be the hollow behind the eyes. It might be the place where memory stabs. Keep the place small. Point to one spot with the hand, if that helps. Let that be enough. Rest your hand there. The touch is simple. It does not need words. Let your breath be slow. Breathe in. Breathe out. On the in-breath, imagine a soft, warm salve entering the body with your breath. On the out-breath, imagine that salve spreading a little. Repeat this for 5 calm cycles. The motion links touch, breath, and image. The body listens. If the hand does not reach the place, use the touch of memory. Place the palm where it is comfortable and picture the balm moving to the wound. The mind is a helpful tool. It carries sensation where the hand cannot. Do not demand an immediate change. Notice only the smallest relief. A fraction of ease is enough to begin. I read Psalm 1:4, 7:3 aloud now. Slowly. The words rest like a lamp. They do not push. They invite. They remind us that healing can come in the form of binding, of careful tending. The heart that feels broken is not ignored. It is known and gently attended. There is a practice I offer that uses a small, plain object. Find a scrap of cloth, a cotton handkerchief, or a clean corner of paper. Call it the balm cloth. Hold it in your fingers. Imagine this cloth soaked in the quiet love you need. If a real oil is safe and welcome for you, a drop of fragrance can be used. If not, keep it entirely in the imagination. The cloth is a symbol of care. Place it over the spot you named. Let the cloth sit there while you breathe. Leave it until sleep feels nearer. If you like, say a short phrase as you cover the place. Keep it simple. I suggest 3 words that do not fight with doubt. You are tended. Repeat them once or twice. Speak them inwardly. Let the phrase act as a steady hand, a soft promise that care will be present while the night runs its course. Healing through love often looks like small repetition. The balm is applied again and again. Each night, the cloth is placed. Each night, the breath returns. The wound does not have to be mended in one sitting. A slow, steady application of tenderness changes the tissue of memory. It changes the way the heart holds pain. There are ways to make this practice practical if writing helps. Write the name of the hurt on a small piece of paper. Fold it as if wrapping a fragile thing. Lay the folded paper beneath the pillow or inside the balm cloth. This is not a ritual to force results. It is a method to make an intention clear. When the mind wants to carry the hurt, the folded paper is there to take its place. The act of folding is itself a kind of rest. For those who find scent comforting, imagine the balm carrying a subtle fragrance: lavender, cedar, or plain warm oil. The scent need not be real to be helpful. Memory of scent can calm the nervous system. Let that imagined aroma breathe with you as the salve moves. Smell is a quiet door into memory and rest. Gentleness governs this practice. If the hurt resists, do nothing more than hold the hand there and breathe. Do not force words. Do not try to make the wound narrate itself into disappearance. Healing by balm remembers that some things take kneading and time. Soft pressure and steady warmth are enough for one night. I offer a short guided imagining now. Picture a hand that is sure and kind. It may be broad or narrow. It may be your hand or another's. Place the named hurt into that hand as if you were passing a small stone. Feel the slight lightening as the weight moves. Now imagine the hand taking a small jar of balm. It opens the lid and smears a slow, warm ring over the stone. The stone keeps its shape. The balm adheres. It settles into cracks. The hand sets the stone down in a safe place. Walk back into the room and leave the door open a crack. The lamp is still there. The stone rests and is no longer clutched. That picture is not magic. It is a training for the hands and the heart. The mind learns to place instead of carry. The body learns new ways to relax around memory. Sometimes the balm is a person's love. Think of a small kindness you received this week. Maybe a neighbor left a note. Maybe someone cleared a plate. Let that small kindness be the balm's base. Memory of human tenderness helps the soul accept the idea of care. Passivity can be hard for people who have been active all day. Receiving becomes a discipline, one that teaches the hands how to accept help. There are wounds that need more than balm. Some scars require time, and other hands. If deep hurt surfaces, it is wise to seek counsel and safety. Using balm imaginations does not replace help that is needed. It works alongside it. Let practical steps be made in daylight. Let balm keep watch at night. If regrets press the hardest, try forgiving in small motions. Lay the regret on the palm like a leaf. Cover it with the imagined salve. Say slowly, let this be tended. Do not demand erasure. Allow the balm to ease the rawness without making you forget the lesson. The balance between memory and healing is subtle. The aim is not to cheapen experience. The aim is to free the body from an unrelenting hold. When a loved one is hurting, apply a similar image on their behalf. Place your hand over their place of pain. Even if only in imagination, put the balm there with a quiet wish that they be eased. Love extended becomes balm moving outwards. This practice is safe to do across distance. The act of placing care toward another reorients the giver as well. It teaches compassion. Healing also has small signs. Warmth returns to fingers. Sleep deepens by a few breaths. A memory no longer stings at first mention. Notice these signs without hurry. They are the pulse of real change. They often appear in increments so small that the day before feels like a different world. If the mind insists on explanation, give it a moment. Ask gently, what does this wound need tonight? The answer might be rest. A plan for tomorrow. A word not yet spoken. Or simply the warmth of a palm. Sometimes the night answers only with silence. Silence can be a balm too. It lets what is raw stop being spoken into a scratchy place. The quietness itself heals. I will read a few lines now. Not to solve, but to accompany the practice. The cadence is slow. The words are chosen for their comfort. Hear the sentence from Psalm 147 again, as it rests on the page. Let it be the evening's lantern. He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Let that image be a gentle hand moving through the dark, if the wound is old and stubborn. Honor that length of time. Old wounds sometimes need repeated, different balms. Change the image. Sometimes the balm is a cool cloth. Sometimes it is warm. Sometimes it is a measured salve applied with patient fingers. Rotate the practice. See which kindness the body receives. Be experimental without pressure. There is a small habit that helps the mind remember to receive each night. Before sleep, name one place that felt eased that day. However small, say it inwardly. Let the memory stand with gratitude. Gratitude does not deny pain. It simply notices a place of care amid the ache. Over weeks, this list grows into a seam of hope. Keep the balm practice quiet and private, if that comforts you. There is no requirement to announce it. The work is intimate. It tends the inside of the chest where public performance cannot reach. The balm is not for display. It is for keeping. If you feel shame about needing balm, notice that shame and place it in the balm too. Let tenderness work on the shame as it works on the hurt. Being human requires patch. Being human requires hands that mend. Before I close this part, try one final, very small exercise. Rest the hand on the place you named. Breathe in and imagine the warmth of balm entering the body. Hold the inhale for a beat. Breathe out and picture the balm spreading a little wider. Repeat 4 times. After the 4th breath, let the hand rest and allow the image to remain like a light on the bedside table. I will leave the Bible open a finger width and the lamp soft. The practice can be repeated each night. The balm image is ready to be taken up again. Healing rarely arrives in one visit. It comes in the patient tending of small acts. The lamp keeps its watch so you may rest. As always, I will read again in the next part. For now, fold the hand down. Breathe slowly. And let the balm of God's love rest on the named place. If sleep comes, lid it. If wakefulness lingers, revisit the image without hurry. The night welcomes this gentle tending. The one who cares is not distant. The balm is present, patient, and kind. I set the balm gently aside. The hand that placed it there rests now. I keep the light low. I bring a new thought into the quiet. It is a small, steady thought. Trust in God's plan. Trust feels risky in the dark. The mind wants every step mapped. The heart asks for a clear map and bright signs. Yet the night often arrives without those things. The path is dim. The trees hold shadows. I do not pretend this is easy. I only name a softer way to stand in the dark. I read to you now a simple promise from Proverbs. I read slowly so the ear can rest on each word. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. I say the verse gently. Let the cadence settle like a lamp on the bedside table. These words are not a command that hides failure. They are an invitation to stop trying to carry the map alone. They offer a different posture. Instead of trying to push the dark aside with frantic light, imagine placing one hand on the heart and the other on the handle of a small lantern. The lantern does not illuminate everything. It shows the next step. It is enough to move slowly and carefully. Trust begins with a small surrender. It is not a grand leap. It is a choice to loosen the grip on one worry. Choose one tonight. Name it simply in the mind. Call it uncertainty, or a decisión, or fear of what tomorrow may bring. Do not make the list long. Keep it small so the heart can hold it. I offer a gentle practice. Take a scrap of paper. Write the one word on it. Fold the scrap once. Slow and deliberate, place it into the treasure box we have made by the bedside. Close the lid. Tell the box with a quiet phrase in your mind, I will leave this here for now. I will trust until morning. The act is tiny. It trains the hands to set down what weighs the mind. When the mind returns to the concern, return kindly to the box. Open it in the imagination. See the folded paper resting there. Breathe. You do not need to drag the worry back into the room. Rehearse placing it back in the box several times until the shoulders soften. There are other ways to practice trust. Try the breath prayer. Breathe in slowly and think the single word trust. Hold the breath a beat. Breathe out and think the word guide. Repeat this 5 times. The rhythm pairs body and hope. The breath becomes an instrument of calm. I speak in images because images travel softly into the night. Imagine a path that follows a river. The current is not rushed. The water moves steadily. You walk the bank at dusk. A guide walks just ahead. You do not see the whole river. You see the next bend. You place one foot and then the next. The knowledge that a guide moves ahead changes the weight of each step. Trust does not mean ignorance of danger. It does not ask you to walk blindfolded into harm. It asks you to admit that the map is partial and that a steady hand can help. If danger is likely, place firm boundaries. Trust works with wisdom. It does not replace good sense. Another simple ritual helps the heart. Keep a small lamp or an image of a compass by the bed. When worry presses, touch the compass or the lamp. Say inwardly, steer me gently. The repeated act trains the mind to seek direction rather than panic. Ótim. The touch becomes a soft signal to the nervous system. Slow now. Breathe here. Trust begins. I often think of seasons when I speak of trust. There are planting seasons and harvest seasons. There are winters that feel long. The plan that is divine does not always look like immediate success. Sometimes it looks like a patient tending. The gardener waters and waits. Roots grow in hidden ways. The waiting is part of the work. When plans fail or change, grief may come. Grief and trust can sit together. They are not enemies. Trust does not erase sorrow. It gives weary hands a place to set it down without pretending it never mattered. Trust is a companion that holds the sorrow and says, "For now we will rest. And then we will go on." If you are carrying a decision that feels heavy, try a very small, time-bound practice. Give yourself a 10-minute window tomorrow to work on the next step. Write the meeting time on a small card and tuck it under the box lid. This reassures the mind that action is scheduled. The night can then be for rest. Planning with a limit is a way to honor both responsibility and rest. I also encourage a nightly small confession of trust. It is not a long creed. It is one sentence in the mind. Try this. I will trust the small next step tonight. Repeat it slowly. Let it be the last thought before sleep. The simplicity is the strength. The line is short enough to fit between breaths. Do not mistake trust for passivity. It is active, but quiet. It looks like patience with a plan. It looks like steady care. It means tending what you can and leaving what you cannot carry to the one who keeps track. The balance is lived out in tiny choices each day and each night. If fear of the future visits, use the path image again. Picture your life as a long road with a guide who walks just ahead. You do not see every turn. You see the next step. Put your focus there. Take one deliberate step. Notice the foot on the ground. Feel the contact. The body helps the mind find the present. There is a tenderness to remembering past times when things worked out in ways you did not expect. Let one small memory rise a moment you feared would not end well, but did. In time, settle into something bearable or even good. Keep that memory like a stone in the pocket tonight. Let it weigh in the hand as proof that a path sometimes unfolds beyond immediate sight. I read these lines about trust slowly, and as a lullaby. The Bible does not erase all doubts with a single sentence. It offers a posture that becomes familiar. When the habit of trust grows, the heart learns to loosen, breath deepens, sleep comes more easily. There are times when plans shift in ways that hurt deeply. Loss is not explained away by trust. Trust walks alongside grief. It whispers you are not alone in this path. The presence of God does not always solve the mystery, but it holds the traveler when the night feels like a sea. If you are unsure how to begin very small. Tonight, place one worry in the box. Touch the lamp. Say the 2-word breath prayer, trust guide. Breathe. Close your eyes. Even for a moment, the hand will learn the muscle of letting go. The mind will learn that not every step requires full illumination. I invite you to a short imagining. Before I read again, picture a slow stream at dusk. A paper boat floats on its surface. Into that boat place a tiny card with your one worry written on it. Set it gently. Watch the current carry the boat around the bend. Do not follow it. Let it go. The act of setting the card into motion is a practice of trust. Now I rest my thumb on the page. The light makes the letters soft. I will read a small passage that reminds us of guidance. I say each phrase like a slow step. Let the words be the lamp for the moment. Let them rest against your chest like a soft hand. Trust grows by repetition. It is not a single event. It is a string of small acts, placing one worry in the box, saying trust guide, breathing slowly, touching the lamp, planning a short morning step. These acts do not remove the unknown. They shape the way the unknown is carried. If the night brings questions that have no answer, give them a place to wait. They can rest on the windowsill with the lamp. Morning brings more light. For now, allow the questions to be held in a companionable silence. The silence is not empty. It is the room where trust grows. I keep the theology gentle. I do not unpack every idea. I offer a posture and simple practices. The aim is mercy and steadiness. If you feel resistant to trust, notice that resistance without blame, it is part of the human heart. Ask gently what would make this feel safer. Make one small adjustment tonight. As I close this part, I invite a brief ritual. Take the one small worry. Fold the paper once more. Place it in the box. Touch the lamp or the compass. Breathe in trust. Breathe out guide. Repeat once. Let the breath be slow and even. Leave the box closed for the night. I will read again in a few minutes. The next part will carry another image, rivers of comfort that run near the paths we walk. For now, rest in the steady thought that you do not have to carry the map alone. There is a hand that walks with you. Trust may be small at first. Let it be enough. Let it steady the next step. I open the book again and let the page catch the lamp. My voice is slow. I read the line from Isaiah that I hold tonight as a mother comforts her child. So will God comfort you. I pause and let that image rest between us. A mother's comfort is simple and close. It knows the small ways to soothe. It hums without needing to explain. It presses a cheek, arranges a blanket, ties silence around the noise. The comparison in Isaiah is not grand or distant. It points to something tender and immediate. I ask you to picture that tenderness now. Imagine a warm hand on the forehead. Imagine a voice that keeps steady even when breath is short. The gesture is ordinary. Its effect is deep. Comfort like that needs no argument. It needs only presence. I draw the next image slowly. Think of a river that runs through a piece of your life. Not a roaring torrent, but a steady, sure stream. The water moves. It follows the land's gentle plan. It does not hurry. It does not demand attention. Its sound is low and continual. This river is God's comforting presence. It flows beneath the seasons of worry and the dry spells of doubt. It does not vanish when storms come. It runs under the winter and the summer. The river does not fix everything. It keeps a current that cools and steadies. Let the river image meet the mother image. A mother's hush and a river's flow share a trait both know how to hold without crowding. Both bring a rhythm. Both show up in small acts. The hand at a brow, the water along the shore. Both make a place safe enough to breathe. I guide you now into a short imagining. Close the eyes, if that is gentle. Picture a narrow path beside a stream. The path is soft underfoot. A cool breeze plays across the skin. The sound of water is even and low. With each step, the breath finds a new pace. Notice the feel of the air. It is neither cold nor sharp. It carries the smell of wet earth and small green leaves. It carries the quiet that keeps loud thoughts a little lower. Let that quiet rest in the chest for 3 slow breaths. If a worry sits like a pebble in the pocket of the mind, Take that pebble in the hand now. No need to judge it. Name it in one small word. Hold the pebble without forcing it to change. Walk to the bank of the stream and set the pebble on the water's edge. Watch the current. Take it. The pebble does not vanish into nothing. It moves downstream. The motion is enough to shift you. The shoulders yield a fraction. The jaw softens a degree. This is not magic. It is a practice of placing, and the placement itself is mercy. God's comfort comes again and again like this current. It does not always remove the stone. It carries it differently. That is often the nearest kindness. The heart needs movement instead of being stuck. I read the verse again in my mind as a mother comforts. So will God comfort you. Let it be a soft bell in the ear. Hear the phrase as a small promise. Do not try to solve everything with that line. Let it be a shore to which the mind can return. There is a gentle way to make this image practical. Keep a small bowl of water by the bedside if that is safe and simple for you. It becomes a quiet symbol. When worry stirs, touch the water with a fingertip or imagine the river touching it. The act trains the hands to place the burden somewhere calm. If a bowl of water is not right for you, trace the image with the eyes closed. Picture the river and the act of setting the pebble down. Repeat the movement silently 3 times. Each repetition teaches the body that it can let go, at least for a while. Comfort is also present when words grow thin. Sometimes a hush says more than any sentence. In the hush, God's comfort rests like a mother's palm on a child's back. The sound of the river is the hush made audible. Let the hush be enough tonight. I read a short blessing now, not to preach, but to soothe. May the steady water keep you company. May the hand of comfort be near. Let those wishes be small lamps you can place under the pillow of the mind. Now I turn the thought toward prayer. The next image is close to this river. Prayer can be like a slow sending of leaves along the current. It is not always words that change things. It is the small act of turning the eyes away from the problem and toward the one who watches the river. Prayer's power is quieter than a storm. It works in the rib cage. It alters the pace of breath. It reminds the hands how to place and the feet how to step. The practice of praying does not always tidy the day. It steadies the heart. I keep the practice small so the ear can follow. First, breathe and notice. Let the breath meet the place where worry sits. Name one small thing. Keep it to one for now. Simple is enough for the night. Second, form a short breath prayer. Choose 2 words that feel true and soft. Breathe in the first word and breathe out the second. A few examples that you might try silently are come stay, near hold, or calm rest. Each pair links a need to a receiving. Repeat the cycle 5 times. Third, place the pebble in the stream of the imagination. See the leaf carry it. Watch the water do its slow work. Say nothing harsh to yourself about how many times you must send the pebble downriver. Return gently when the thought returns. Hand it again to the current. Prayer's power is not in the amount of energy you use. It is in the practice of offering. The act of offering changes the shoulder's posture. It shifts the rooting of worry and leaves the mind room to soften. Prayer also joins what is small with what is larger. A single whisper turned toward God is never private in the sense of being trapped. It connects the small room of a night with the vastness of constant presence. That connection itself becomes rest. If words feel heavy, breathe with a simple rhythm. Inhale and picture the river. Exhale and watch the pebble move. Let the breath be the prayer. If speech feels too sharp, the body understands rhythm. The heart follows. Sometimes prayer is thanksgiving more than asking. Name one small kindness of the day. It might be a cup of tea, a friendly glance, a task completed. Turn the attention there for a single breath. Gratitude is a soft bridge between anxiety and ease. Other nights, the prayer is silence. Sit in the hush and let the river speak. Let the presence of comfort be the prayer. Presence is a kind of answer that does not always need decoding. I suggest a simple nightly ritual to practice prayer gently. Before sleep, place a hand over the chest. Breathe in the image of a river. Breathe out the word that feels whole near. Hold. Calm. Do this 3 times. Fold the hands and imagine a small boat set upon the current with today's pebble inside. Leave the boat to float toward a distant shore. Prayer does not always change the shore. It changes how carrying feels while crossing. It alters the muscles that hold the load. That alteration is the power of prayer. It is quiet and practical. I read the scriptures for you as a way to name these practices. The verse in Isaiah points to a comfort that behaves like both a mother and a river. Both images are meant to be used, not argued. They serve us tonight. If doubt rises while you try these steps, welcome it with gentleness. Doubt is sometimes the mind's way of testing the water's depth. Place your hand in any way. The current will confirm what the eye cannot yet see. Trust is taught by small experiments. Tonight I offer one more tiny exercise before the verses continue. Close the eyes and find the place of tension. Take a slow breath. Imagine the river. Imagine the pebble. Speak silently 1 sentence. I place this in your care. It is short. It is not a debate. It is a handing. Rest here for a moment. Breathe with the hush of water. Let the image of a mother's hand and the sound of a stream keep company in the chest. When the time comes to sleep, give the pebble to the current 1 last time. If waking returns in the night, take the pebble back and repeat the transfer. Each repetition trains the hands to release and the heart to accept comfort. I close this part with an invitation. Let the river and the mother's touch be your companions through the dark hours. Use the breath prayer if words feel needed. Place 1 small sign of trust beside the bed. A bowl, a pebble, a folded note. Let it remind the hands how to let go. In the next part, I will read more and speak of prayer's power in a few practical ways. For now, keep the lamp low. Rest beside the steady flow. The presence that comforts is not far away. It stays like a river by the path. Let its sound be your lullaby. I settle the Bible on my knees and let the lamp breathe. My voice keeps low. The pages whisper when I turn them. Tonight I bring a line that sits like a quiet plank across the water. I say it slowly, so the ear can follow. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. The thought is simple and steady. It asks the mind to rest lightly on the idea that prayer connects us to a kindness that steadies the heart. Prayer is not a machine. It is not a list of commands to be performed. It is more like a door that opens into a small room. The room is not loud. Its light comes from a single lamp. The lamp is steady. When I speak, I want you to imagine entering that room. It is not necessary to tidy everything before you cross the threshold. The lamp is already there. The welcome waits. I name 3 gentle ways to use that room tonight. Each one is small. Each one is meant for listening, not for solving. First, the act of honest naming. Choose one thing that presses in the chest. Keep it small. A single word will do. Say it softly in the mind. Place that word on a small square of paper. If the hands like to move, fold the paper once. Set it on the table beside the lamp. The act of naming does not finish the matter. It simply moves it into the room where prayer can touch it. When the word is given that small address, the shoulders ease a fraction. The mind breathes more easily. Second, the act of short speaking and quiet listening. Speak a short sentence inwardly. It may be a request, a thanks, a confesión, or a simple offering of what you cannot hold alone. Speak it as you would pass a cup to a friend. Then sit in silence for a few slow breaths. Let the silence be long enough for the chest to notice the pause. Prayer is not only asking, it is also being still enough to hear a small reply, or to feel a steady hand on the shoulder. Listening prayer trains the muscles of attention. It does not force an answer. It prepares the heart to receive whatever kindness comes. Third, the practice of turning outward. Prayer is a bridge to others. Include one name tonight. It may be someone who is tired, someone who feels lost, someone who caused hurt. Hold that name with tenderness. Offer a brief blessing for them in the mind. The offering need not be ornate. A simple wishing of peace is sufficient. Praying for another changes how burdens sit in the chest. It moves the focus away from circling the self and places weight into a wider rhythm of care. I read the verse again slowly in the quiet. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Let the cadence sink. Power here is not a loud force. It is persistent and practical. The word effective means it changes things, often in ways the ear cannot measure. A short prayer given in the dark may alter a decision the next morning. A single wish for another's safety can steer a small kindness into someone else's path. Prayer links hands across sleep. There is no demand to be eloquent, no need to search for perfect words. Many of the most helpful prayers are brief. A single phrase said with steady breath is enough. If words feel heavy, use breath as the prayer. Breathe in slowly and think of the word receive. Breathe out and think of the word carry. Repeat this rhythm 5 times. The breath becomes a liturgy. The body learns to hand things over while it moves. I offer another small practice for the times when guilt sits beside anxiety. Place a hand lightly over the place that feels tight. Breathe in and carry the named guilt into that place, as if setting a small stone on a table. Breathe out and imagine a gentle hand taking the stone and placing it into a basket with a lid. Tell the lid in the mind to be closed for tonight. This motion is not denial. It is a temporary lodging. The next day can be a time for gentle sorting. Prayer often makes room for tomorrow's care. Prayer also connects to clarity. When the mind is cluttered, ask only one question. Keep it simple. It can be what next? Or which step? Or which word? Speak the question once. Then sit and listen while you breathe in the small lamp of patience. Often, clarity arrives not as a thunderbolt, but as a soft nudge. A leaning toward one small action. The answer may come as a memory, a calm sense, or a steady inclination. When it comes, keep it small and test it gently in daylight. Prayer gives a first light, not a complete map. There is a kind of prayer that asks for courage to act. If a needed step stirs the stomach with dread, make a plan for one small next thing. Write it down. Pray about it. Then, set a time tomorrow to work on that single task for 10 minutes. This practice honors both prayer and responsibility. It keeps the night for rest and the day for work. The prayer helps the hands begin without expecting instantaneous resolution. I read these instructions slowly because the tone matters. The voice that prays at night should be soft. It should not become a new critic. It should be a companion. Keep the sentences short. Keep the silence long enough for the chest to notice. The Bible's witness is that prayer connects the human heart to a larger care that does not sleep. This connection is a kind of shelter. Prayer can also be communal in quiet ways. If you are part of a group that prays, offer a single short request for someone you know who is awake tonight. If you are alone, imagine the circle of others who lift brief prayers at the same hour. The thought of many small hands raised in the dark often steadies the lonely heart. We are in a chorus of hushed wishes. I want to give a small caution. Prayer is not a formula for control. It does not demand proof on its timetable. Some prayers are answered differently than hoped. That sometimes feels like silence. Yet the silence is not absence. It can be a different kind of presence, steady, patient, and shaping love. Trusting when answers delay is itself a form of prayer. If doubt arises while you pray, notice it without adding a second burden. Doubt can be asked about as well. Try a short breath prayer that names the doubt. Breathe in the word question. Breathe out the word rest. Repeat, and let the rhythm fold the question into the evening rather than amplifying it. That way, doubt becomes company for prayer rather than its enemy. I often suggest a small object as an aid. A pebble, a ribbon, a folded note. When the mind races, hold the object. Let its weight be a reminder that a prayer has been said. Place the object beside the lamp. Each night, touch it to remember that the effort to pray was made. The object is a witness, not a talisman. There is a gentle form of confession that helps prayer be honest without harshness. Name one short failing or regret. Keep it to one. Speak it softly in the mind and ask for help in learning from it. Do not rehearse the whole litany. Keep the focus narrow. Forgiveness moves not by drama, but by a tiny unburdening. The prayer that seeks help to change is a practical offering. Another practice is gratitude at the close of the day. Name 3 small things that went well. They need not be large. A warm cup, a kind word, a moment of calm. Say them internally. Let gratitude reframe the mind's tally. It does not deny pain. It simply balances the ledger with small light. Prayer also shapes attention. If a worry returns in the night, do not engage it at length. Return to a single short prayer or to the breath rhythm. Hand the thought back to the lamp. Repeat the simple motions you practiced. Each return is progress. The hands learn the muscle of placing things down. I read a line from the text again to close this section. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Let that thought be like a door left ajar. You may step through it tonight as often as needed. You may also rest on the sill and listen. Both are prayer. Before I close the book this time, try one brief exercise with me. Choose one small need. Keep it no larger than a pebble. Inhale and name that need in the mind. Exhale and imagine passing it into a steady hand. Repeat once more. Then rest the hand over the chest for 3 calm breaths. Let the chest notice the slight easing. That ease is prayer's practical fruit. I leave the Bible open a finger width. The lamp is steady. If you wish, tuck the pebble or the folded note near the book. It will be a quiet reminder that you entered the prayer room tonight. If sleep comes, let it be. If wakefulness lingers, return to the short practices. Prayer is patient and repetitive. It is a thread you can hold through the dark. In the next part, I will speak of living in the present. We will find small ways to keep our feet on the path and our hands open to what is near. For now, breathe slowly. Give one short prayer and rest in the knowledge that prayer keeps a lamp lit for the night. I sit with the Bible open and the lamp very low. The room holds a long quiet. I speak soft words into that quiet. I am the one who reads these pages for you before sleep. Tonight the thought I carry is rest in God's peace. I want the mind to come home to the present. I want the chest to let go of tomorrow's weight for a while. Peace like this is not loud. It is not full of answers. It is a calm that fills small rooms. It is a steadying hand on the shoulder. I say that because the night often distorts what is near. The mind throws its light ahead and behind and forgets the floor under the feet. I ask you to return the light to the now. Hold this moment. Breathe into it. I read a line slowly from Matthew. Do not worry about tomorrow. Let it rest in the ear. The sentence does not demand cleverness. It is a small invitation. It asks the heart to unclench one knot. The future will come in its own time. For now the breath is enough. Begin with the body. Feel the weight where you sit or lie. Notice one point of contact with the chair or mattress. Keep attention there for 3 quiet breaths. Let the foot, the hip, the shoulder be the anchor. The mind will wander. That is normal. Bring it back without reproach. Each return is a small practice of peace. Now do a gentle scan. Move the attention slowly from the scalp down to the feet. Pause at the forehead. Soften the brow. Do not force relaxation. Invite it to arrive. Notice the jaw and allow the teeth to part a fraction. Rest the tongue behind the teeth. Let the neck loosen a little. Follow the shoulders as they drop. Feel the arms become softer. Let the hands open. The belly exhales. The legs let go. If thoughts about tomorrow come, greet them like passing birds. Name them in one word. Plan. Money. Call. Tomorrow. Say the word without argument. Then set it on a small shelf in the mind and step back. Return to the anchor of contact. Return to the breath. This is not ignoring. It is a way to keep the present hour present. I offer an image. Picture a cloak of peace. It is woven from quiet moments. It does not cover the whole life. It covers the now. Imagine wrapping the cloak around the shoulders. Feel its weight and warmth. It does not demand that you change the whole map. It keeps your shoulders steady tonight. Wear it like a simple thing. Breath work helps the cloak settle. Try a soft count. Inhale for 3 beats. Hold 1 beat. Exhale for 5 beats. Let the exhale be a little longer. Do this 3 times. With each out-breath, imagine the cloak smoothing over a new part of the chest. The breath is not a cure. It is a tool. It lets the heart soften. I speak now of small witness practices. Pick one object by the bed. It may be a stone, a ribbon, a small lamp. Let it be the sign of the present. Each time the mind drifts to the future. Touch the object once. Let the touch be the tiny ritual that returns attention to now. The object carries no power, but helps train the hands and the eyes. There is mercy in the ordinary. A cup of water, a folded blanket, a plain line of light across the floor. Notice one small ordinary thing and give thanks for it. Do not seek grand experiences. Small things anchor the present. Gratitude is not a test. It is the practice of noticing. I offer a short mental rehearsal that helps when worry returns. Imagine tomorrow standing at the door with a sack. Say in your mind, I will speak with you in the morning. Then close the door gently. This is not a lie. It is an agreement. You tell tomorrow you will meet it when you are ready. For now the night belongs to rest. Let the scripture line breathe again. Do not worry about tomorrow. Hear it as kind, not as accusation. The phrase is soft. Let it be the next thought you choose when worry visits. Repeat it once on the out-breath. Breathe and say, do not worry. Breathe and say, live in this hour. I keep theology light because the night does not need heavy tools. The message I carry is simple. Presence matters. God's peace meets the present heart. It sits where the breath is. It comes as steadiness rather than a solution. Imagine a small pool of calm in the center of the chest. It does not flood the mind. It does not solve everything. It holds a place where sleep can begin. Use the senses to return to now. Feel a thread of cloth under the hand. Smell the faint lamp oil or the room's breath. Hear the quiet that is not silence, but slow living. Taste nothing, and yet feel the memory of warm tea. The senses pull you back to the room. Practice ignoring the mind's long lists and let the senses speak. I guide a brief practice of anchored presence. Close your eyes if it feels kind. Put both hands over the place that feels the heaviest. Keep the touch light. Breathe and count each breath quietly up to 4. On the 4th breath, soften the hands a fraction. Notice any tiny change. The change will be small. That is enough. Small changes gather into rest. Resting in God's peace does not ask for perfection. It is a patient companion. It meets the restless heart with a patient hand. If guiltrices, receive it without adding punishment. Offer it a gentle question. What needs care tomorrow? Make one small plan and tuck it away. For the night, place guilt in the box of tomorrow. Close the lid gently. If fear comes like wind, imagine a sheltered porch. The wind blows, but the porch holds. Sit on the porch with a blanket. Name 3 things you can see in the present room. Let the sight of them steady the breath. Count them slowly. The act of listing what is here brings the heart back to now. I teach a short evening prayer you may use. I speak it softly for the ear. It is not long. Say it once before sleep. Breathe in and think the word shelter. Breathe out and think the word keep. Repeat twice. Let the words be a hinge that opens the room to calm. Prayer is a practice of placing the heart where it can be held. Peace often arrives when the hands are still. Do not understate the power of simply letting the fingers unclench. Let the palms face up for a moment. This posture is not empty. It tells the body it may receive. Let receiving be more important than solving tonight. If sleep still resists, use a small ground technique. Wiggle the toes. Feel each toe as it loosens. Move the ankles softly. Notice the contact at the heel. The body is a map of small anchors. Work from the feet upward. Grounding at the base of the body closes the mind's open windows to the future. I read a brief line again from Matthew as a lullaby. The words lie soft on the page. Let them be the last thing you hold before your eyes close. Do not expect the mind to obey perfectly. It will flicker and return. Each return is practice. Each practice builds peace. Tonight I also invite an act of mercy toward the self. Say nothing harsh. Do not scold for lost time or missed prayers. Instead, choose one small kindness to do tomorrow. It may be a short walk, a cup of warmth, a phone call of hello. Let that small plan rest beside the lamp. The thought that you will care for yourself in the morning can free the night to be gentler. I keep my sentences plain because the ear needs space. Long lectures close the chest. Short lines open the windows. The breathing room I provide is intentional. The aim is to let God's peace visit in small steps. If dreams come rough, have a simple ritual to settle afterward. Sit up a little, breathe, and touch the lamp. Say the short phrase I spoke. Do not worry about tomorrow, and imagine setting the dream into a small chest. Close it. Liebeck. Breathe. Rituals are small bridges between troubled sleep and steady rest. There is grace in slow recovery. Some nights are easier than others. Record nothing but one small sign of ease. Maybe the jaw relaxed a degree. Maybe the breath lengthened a beat. Notice it and keep the memory. Small signs grow into habits. Before I read a short passage again, place your hand where it is comfortable. Let the lamp be the boundary of the moment. Let the Bible be the book on your lap or by the bedside. Hear my voice as a steady companion, not a teacher with a test. We are practicing presence together. I will read a few lines now slowly. Let them be the music that carries the moment towards sleep. Let the cadence be gentle. Do not strain to understand every word. Receive them as a soft reproof to the mind's habit of racing. Receive them as a permission to rest here. Now, as I close this part, make one small agreement with yourself. Choose one moment in the morning for 10 calm minutes. Promise to meet tomorrow then. For tonight, let the promise be enough. It gives the mind a place to meet what it cannot carry. Now, I leave the Bible open a finger's breadth. The lamp sighs a little. I keep my voice low. If sleep comes, surrender to it. If wakefulness lingers, return to the simple practices, the anchor of contact, the breath count, the cloak of peace, the short prayer, each is a small habit of rest. In the next part, I will read and speak about resting still in God's presence. We will practice a few more images and keep the pace slow. For now, breathe into the present. Let the chest soften. Let God's peace hold the small room of your night. Rest. The night is long enough to begin. The lamp is low. The room keeps its hush. I lift the Bible and turn to a small page. My thumb rests on the line I will read. I let the silence hold the space between the words. I read slowly. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone. Lord, make me dwell in safety. Each syllable moves like a slow step. The sentence is short. It is steady. Let it sit in the ear. Do not rush what it means. Let the sound be the thing that begins the rest. Hear it again. More softly. In peace, I will lie down and sleep. For you alone make me dwell in safety. The voice does not press. It only offers an image you can carry as you close the eyes. This psalm asks nothing of you but a small surrender. It asks only that you try, tonight, to lie down in peace. That is a practice, not a performance. The heart is not required to be whole. The hands are only asked to loosen their grip a little. Prepare the body as gently as you can. Turn toward the side that feels easy. Ease the weight into the mattress. Arrange the pillow so the neck rests without strain. Let the knees bend if that softens the lower back. If the feet are cold, tuck a blanket around them. These are small adjustments. They do not solve everything. They help the body tell the mind it is allowed to rest. Place one hand on the chest. Place the other where the belly rises. The touch is simple. It is a reminder that the body is present now. Breathe in slowly through the nose. Breathe out longer through the lips. Try 4 counts in, 6 counts out. Let the out-breath be the longer arc. With each exhale, imagine a thread loosening inside the ribs. No need to hold the breath. No need to fix what will not be fixed in one night. Name one small burden. Keep it to one. Say its name inwardly, a call, a fear, a worry, a regret. Do not argue with it. Do not try to explain it away. Say the name like placing a pebble on a table. Then imagine setting that pebble into a shallow dish at your bedside. The dish is not a denial. It is a small container that says, "Tonight you rest, and the pebble stays here." Listen to the line once more. "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone make me dwell in safety." Let the last phrase rest on the breath. Read it as a promise given, not a task to be earned. Promise is not a demand. It is an invitation into a different way of holding life for a few hours. Now a brief body-mind practice to ease the edges. Start at the toes. Bring attention there. Tighten the toes briefly. Then release. Move up to the ankles. Tighten and release. Continue a slow sweep up the legs. Onto the hips, the belly, the chest, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, the eyes. Each tightening is quick. Each release is long. The long release is the thing to notice. It is the small relief that trains the muscles to let go. When you reach the crown of the head, rest the face, unclenched. Let the tongue soften behind the teeth. Feel the weight of the lids. If sleep comes, do not fight it. If it does not, do not judge yourself. The practice is practice. It builds in small increments. Picture safety in an ordinary way. Imagine a small room with a low roof and a single window. The window looks out to a quiet garden. The air there is a cool, steady breath. Nothing in the garden needs fixing tonight. The room is simple. Inside it, you are allowed to set your load on a chair and sit. The light is enough to move, but not bright enough to demand action. Rest there. Now imagine a watchful presence at the door. It is not a stern figure, but a steady one. Think of a neighbor who always keeps a lamp on in the hallway. The lamp is not a rebuke. It is care. That presence does not carry your burdens for you. It does not remove every trouble. It simply keeps watch. Let that watching be enough tonight. A short breath prayer might help. Breathe in and think the single word peace. Hold for a moment. Breathe out and think the word rest. Keep the voice inside, low and kind. Repeat this cycle 5 times. Let the words and the breathing come together like the tip of a slow oar touching water. No force, only motion. If the mind floods with tasks, give it one small instruction. Choose a time in the morning for 5 minutes to address the most pressing item. Write that time on a scrap of paper. Fold the paper and set it beside the dish that holds your pebble. The act of scheduling one short period gives the mind permission to stop rehearsing everything at once. The night remains for sleep. There is no shame in needing help. If a name of someone else presses, place that name into the dish as well. Picture that name carried gently by a hand that knows what to do. Offer the single phrase, guard them, guard me. Say it once and let it rest. The phrase is a small handoff. It does not answer every question. It stills the immediate clamor. Now let the psalm's assurance sink a little deeper. For you alone make me dwell in safety. The words mean that safety is not merely the absence of trouble. It is the presence of care that holds, even when the world remains uncertain. you dwell in that care. The verb is living, not simply passing through. Dwell implies a place to rest for a time. Accept that dwelling as a truth. To try. If images help, try a symbol. Take a soft cloth or a small ribbon. Fold it twice. Keep it beside the dish tonight. When worry returns, touch the cloth. Let the feel of it be the cue to place the pebble on the table and to breathe the breath, prayer, peace, rest. The object is not a talisman. It is a tool that trains the senses to cooperate with the intention to rest. If sleep is slow to come, turn to quiet listening. Notice the room's small sounds. A heater sighs. A clock ticks. Breath moves in the next room. Hear them without judgment. Each sound is a proof that the world continues and that it is not all within your hands. Listening this way is a prayer without words. There are nights when fear is heavier. In those hours, keep the hands open and palms up. The simple posture tells the body it may receive. It does not mean surrender to anything harmful. It simply signals rest. Hold that pose for 3 breaths. On the 3rd exhale, imagine a light settling somewhere in the chest. It is a small glow. It is enough. I will read the scripture again. Slow and low, as you prepare to lie down, in peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Use the words as a lullaby. Hum them in the mind as you drift. You do not need to form an argument. Let the line be a soft rope you follow into rest. Before the night deepens, do one is more. Intentional act. Place both hands on the dish that holds the pebble and the folded note. Say inwardly for now. Let those 2 words be the hinge you close on the day. They do not deny tomorrow. They promise a pause. Close the eyes and rest the forehead on the hands. If that feels gentle, breathe slowly. Let the tension soften at the jaw. Let the shoulders drop. If you wake later, return to the same simple motions. Find the dish. Touch the cloth. Breathe peace rest. Repeat the short body scan and the tightening release sequence. These small practices become scaffolding. They make the habit of letting go more familiar. I do not ask you to be perfect in this. The night may still bring questions and memories. Meet them gently. Name them if it helps. Place each named thing carefully in the dish, or fold it into the note. Hand it over again and again. The repetition is not failure. It is training. Before I close this part, take one more breath with me. Inhale quietly through the nose. Hold the breath a gentle beat. Exhale fully and imagine settling into the small room by the garden. Feel the watchful lamp at the door. It does not demand your answers. It only keeps company. When you are ready, rest the book aside near the lamp. Keep the page open for the eye to find if wakefulness returns. In a few moments, I will return for a final blessing. That will be a small benediction, gentle as the last line of this psalm. For now, lower the shoulders, unclench the hands, let the breath find its slow rhythm. Lie down in peace. Let the promise be your near thing tonight. The bed is a place to dwell for a while. Allow the mind to follow the body. Allow the heart to receive the quiet. Breathe into the present. Rest. I will be here a little longer to close with a blessing when you are prepared to receive it. I keep the lamp low. The Bible rests open on my lap. My thumb marks the place where we pause. My voice stays slow. I speak like someone lowering a cup to the table. The hour is near its close. I want to leave you with a blessing that is simple and sure. I begin by drawing a breath with you. Breathe in slowly. Let the air fill the ribs. Breathe out long and easy. Do this twice more. Each breath is a small ceremony. Each breath is a reminder that the body is still a home for tenderness. I read one last short passage now. I do not load it with arguments. I let it be a lamp. I let it be a hand on the shoulder. The words say that rest is given and that strength is renewed as one sleeps. They promise that care stays near through the dark. Hear the cadence and let it be quiet medicine for the ears. I offer a blessing for this night. It is not a long litany. It is a few soft sentences, shaped like a shawl. May your breathing slow. May the shoulders ease. May the jaw unclench. May the places that have held hurt find a small unburdening. May the room around you be calm. May the lamps of mercy keep watch. May you rest without needing to perform. May you wake with a little more strength in the hands and a little more patience in the chest. I speak these words slowly. Let each one land where it is needed. Do not race to answer them. Let them sit like a warm cloth. When you lie down, remember the small practices we have kept. Place one named worry in the box by the bedside. Touch the small object that you chose. Breathe the 2 words that helped you tonight. Feel the imagined hand steady the load. Picture the river carrying a pebble. Lay the balm over the raw place. Whether in your palm or in the mind, these are simple acts. They are not magic. They are discipline for a tired heart. I remind you gently, mercy is patient. Forgiveness is a step-by-step process. Trust grows by tiny rehearsals. All of these habits are slow. They do their work through repetition. Do not judge the nights that resist. Each return to the practice counts. Count not the speed of change, but the willingness to come back. Before sleep, if it helps, place a short note near the Bible. Write one small hope for tomorrow. Keep it no larger than a sentence. Fold it once. Let the folded paper promise a time in the morning when the mind will meet the task briefly. The small promise makes room for rest. It tells the mind that some things are scheduled, not carried through the dark. I am grateful that you spent this hour with me. Thank you for allowing my voice into the quiet of your room. Thank you for the trust of your listening. I do not take that trust lightly. It is a tender thing to keep company with someone in the night. Know this, you are not alone. The presence that watches is constant. It is not a distant idea. It is a steady care that does not sleep, in the most ordinary ways. That presence steadies the hands and keeps the path lit a step at a time. When you feel small or alone, imagine that presence in the room with you. See it as a lamp on the table. Hear it as a steady breath. Feel it as a hand that steadies the wrist. I also want to invite you to share what this hour does for you. The practice of reaching out expands the circle of rest. If something here helped, Write a short line in the comments, or tell a friend. If a passage landed softly in your chest, say so. If a ritual grew familiar and eased you, share how you used it. These small exchanges do not demand long stories. A sentence or two is enough. They are ways to pass along mercy. When we share, we build a gentle community. People who listen to these nights become a chain of lamps. Each person's small practice lights another's path. That is how collective healing grows. It grows quietly. It grows through ordinary gestures, a short message, a note left on a kitchen table, a cup of tea given without comment. None of these must be grand. They only need to be kind. If you feel called to greater participation, consider joining the small group that gathers to talk softly about these practices. It meets without pressure. People only bring what they wish. The group's aim is simple: to hold one another while work and worry do their daytime demands. If that idea feels right, leave a short message. I will read them and remember you in prayer. If you prefer not to speak, that is fine too. Quiet presence is a gift as well. I want to breathe with you again. Breathe in slowly. Feel the chest rise. Breathe out and imagine a little of the weight moving. Breathe in again and think the single word, mercy. Breathe out and think the word rest. Repeat those two words 3 times. Let them become a soft rhythm under the lamp. Now I say one last short prayer over the room. I keep it plain because the night needs plainness. I offer it like a cup set down beside the bed. Lord, keep watch. Guard this night with gentle care. Let the weary sleep. Let the anxious find a pause. Bind up the raw places. Renew the small strength that tomorrow will need. Be near in the hush. Amen. The prayer is short. Let it be enough. If you do not use that language, treat the words as an intention for safety and renewal. The meaning is the same, a wish that you be tended while you rest. Before I close the Bible, I leave 3 small reminders. First, if you carry a heavy thing tomorrow, bring one small plan, name one short action, and write it down for a designated time. The night requires only that you hold the task briefly. The morning can offer the work. Second, reach outward when you can. Pass along one small kindness. A short note or a small errand offered without ceremony helps build the slow bridge of communal care. Do not wait for great gestures. Small keeping is enough. Third, return to these practices. Pick a line from the reading that became a lamp for you. Keep it in mind. Repeat it in the morning when you wake. Let the phrase become a seam in your days. I close the book slowly. My thumb marks the page. The lamp gives a soft, last sigh. I sit in the hush a moment longer. I hold the room in prayer with you. I remember the names you have placed in the box, the pebbles you have set by the water, and the balm you have rested on tender places. I do not erase struggle. I do not pretend it vanishes. I simply promise that tonight you are watched and tended. As I rise from the chair, one small practical note. If you woke at any point during this reading with a thought that helped or a ritual that eased, send a brief word about it. Your sharing will be kept gentle and private. It will help others know they are not the only ones who carry certain burdens. It will expand the circle of care bit by quiet bit. Now one final blessing. I lay it out as a simple wish you can hold. May sleep come like a slow tide. May it find the parts of you that are thin. May small restoration enter the bones. May mercy be the first warmth you feel in the morning. May courage be gentle when it wakes. May you rise with a little more patience, a little more steadiness, and a small thread of hope that was not there before. I whisper this benediction as I would tuck a friend into bed. The words are soft. Let them rest on you and do their quiet work. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being present. Thank you for letting these words keep you company. I am here whenever you return. The lamp stays half lit until the next hour. The book lies open. The practices are ready. Now lie down. Breathe peace, rest. Let the room keep you. Let the presence that never sleeps hold you tonight. Sleep well. Renewed strength will find its way by morning.